Hey everybody, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at the Borla Attack Catback exhaust system with black chrome tips, fitting 2024 and newer Mustang GT fastbacks without the factory active exhaust. If fantastic sound, great quality, and cool looks are on your list for a new exhaust for your S650 GT, then you're in luck, because this Borla Attack system has all of that and more. This system combines excellent build quality with cool stealthy looks and an absolutely awesome noise, so it's going to be an excellent choice for the Coyote owner who wants a little bit of everything. Make no mistake though, this thing is loud. On our loudest meter, this one's going straight to the top with a 5 out of 5. This is about as loud as you're going to get short of a straight pipe system. So it is definitely enough to make a big difference in how your Mustang drives and sounds. Borla is well known in the enthusiast community for making some of the best exhausts you can buy, especially when it comes to how they sound. The Attack series is the loudest of the bunch though, and like you heard from the clips at the start of this video, you're gonna get a full, deep, aggressive race car type of sound on the outside. It's awesome, truly. This is a full-on 3-inch diameter catback, so it's gonna run from your factory manifolds all the way back and provide you with a lot more flow and keep your cats in place so it's still street legal. Now, of course, we have to acknowledge the fact that the Coyote V8 sounds good right out of the box. Making it sound better is not hard to do. However, balancing a good sound profile and volume in a way that's not gonna make your ears bleed is a much harder thing to accomplish. And that is where Borla does this better than most. Now they have some neat tricks up their sleeve to make this all very pleasing and to eliminate drones, so this goes beyond just being loud. First thing is, of course, an X-pipe. Now this is going to help eliminate drone by allowing exhaust gas pulses to cross over and intermingle so you don't get that horrible whoop whoop type of noise. The X-pipe also allows for a lot more flow since it allows for crossover, so that's going to help with exhaust gas scavenging. It can help pull exhaust gases through the system. Basically, it's going to flow better, especially at the top of the rev range, which, as you Coyote owners know, is where those engines live their best life. So you're going to get a bit more power as well. But there's even more good stuff that Borla has baked in, and part of it is right there in the name. The Attack name stands for Acoustically Tuned Applied Kinetics, and that's a Borla exclusive technology that allows them to tune each exhaust for specific vehicle applications. Now this exhaust in particular also utilizes Borla's patented polyphonic harmonizing technology, which is also going to help eliminate drone. And I do mean eliminate. This is not something that simply just takes the edge off of it. Between the X-pipe, the mufflers here, and the polyphonic harmonizing technology, you've got no drone in any gear at any RPM at any speed. And that's something that Borla guarantees. They really harp on that. So polyphonic harmonizing technology is essentially the type of science that goes into tuning wind instruments or pipe organs. So there's different lengths of pipe, different perforations, all kinds of different things to control those different frequencies, and that eliminates those obtrusive or dissonant sounds that cause drone. Now in this system, they're contained right here in these little canisters right before the, well, we'll call these mufflers, but they're really just kind of big old resonators. So inside of these little canisters, you're going to find a couple of smaller diameter pipes. Usually there are 4. We can't really see them here, but there's different perforations, different shapes, and different patterns inside to help make those frequencies harmonize. So you get that really nice, pleasant sound and the volume you want without any drone. So even though this is going to be a lot louder inside the cabin versus your stock exhaust, you're actually going to be able to enjoy it even if you're on a long highway road trip. Now you might need to turn up the volume on the radio, but when the exhaust sounds this good, I think that's a small price to pay, and you can even just turn the radio off and enjoy the music that's coming out of the pipes. Now, of course, we also have to talk about the tips. These are 4-inch black chrome tips, and I will admit that I think these look pretty darn slick. Now, this is going to exit in the same spot as your stock exhaust, but these are bigger than what you get from the factory. It's a more subtle approach when it comes to the appearance, and I think that dark chrome really finishes the whole thing off nicely. Any subtlety, however, is thrown immediately out the window once you fire the car up though. So while the casual observer may not notice these right away, especially if the car isn't running, they're certainly going to be able to tell you've got a nice exhaust once you fire it up. As far as construction goes, as always, this is a really high quality system. Borla makes all of their stuff from T304 stainless steel, so you're going to get excellent corrosion and rust resistance here. And I mean everything is made from T304. From the flanges, the X-pipe, all the way back to the tips, Everything is about as good a quality as you're going to find anywhere. And as you can see, it's just a nice looking exhaust. It's almost a shame you don't see most of it when it's on the car. The piping is again 3-inch mandrel bent tubing all the way back, so there's no wrinkles or restrictions in the system. That means all the exhaust gases are going to flow nicely through, so your engine can breathe better, make a bit more power, and have less back pressure. Pricing for this system will come in at around $2,000, and that's not what you'd describe as inexpensive. This is of course going to be at the top of the category when it comes to exhaust for this gen of Mustang. The quality and sound though, as always with Borla, are more than worth it in my opinion. If you want something that's going to sound good, it's going to last, it's going to look cool, this is an excellent choice. Installation will come in at a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. This is, as always, designed to be a totally bolt-on installation. It's going to utilize all your factory exhaust hanger locations, so you don't have to modify anything permanently on the car, and it comes with all the clamps and stuff that you need to get it installed. Not much more I can say about it here, so with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the install process.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, an extension, a 15 and 13 millimeter swivel socket, exhaust hanger tool, a pry bar, and a hammer. All right, today we're going to be putting an exhaust on our Mustang. First, we're going to watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock one, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
So the first thing we're going to do is come to the double flange behind our cat. We have 4 15 millimeter bolts that we can loosen up with a 15 millimeter socket. Now we're going to leave this just like that for now as we work on the rest. One thing to keep in mind is when we go to pull this off, this little hook is keeping this on, so you're going to have to get a flathead screwdriver to pull back on that on both sides when we go to remove it. Next, we can come right behind our rear diff to this hanger. There's one on each side of this bracket. There's a 13 millimeter bolt holding it on. So I've got a 13 millimeter swivel socket on an extension to pop this off. And now we'll just come to the other side and do the same exact thing. And now with them both removed, you can push up to get those hangers off the hooks. And do that same thing on the other side. Now, last thing we need to do before we can remove this is remove these 2 bolts that were on the inside of those 2 hangers behind the rear diff. So I'm using that same 13 millimeter socket with an extension. Now with those removed, we can push it up off the hook and pull that down to get the clearance we need. So now I've got myself a buddy to support the weight of the rear of the exhaust while I work on the front. We're going to push this towards the rear to disconnect these 2 pipes, and then we can pull it forward to pull it out of the back hangers. So now with our exhaust removed, we can take an exhaust hanger remover tool to pop off these 2 hangers because we will have to reuse them for our new exhaust. Now, last thing we need to pop off is our 2 clamps that are at the front of the exhaust. You can take a rubber mallet and get the edge of a pry bar on the edge of the clamp to tap these off.
So we're going to start here in the front of our exhaust. We have our factory clamps we're going to reinstall. Just make sure you line up the tabs. They'll slide right over. We have our 2 adapter pipes, which will slide into our factory clamps. We're going to grab 2 of our supply clamps. Now they are all the same size, so it doesn't matter. Then we can slide our X pipe over our adapter pipes. Now you're just going to need to move these a little bit just to get everything to line up. It's not that big of a deal. All right. We can just leave this all loose for right now, and then we'll get to our axle pipes next. So we're gonna move on to our passenger axle pipe here. So you see I have one clamp already here. I'm gonna slide that into our X pipe. And we can grab one of our hangers that we took off and slide that on. And then hook it into place onto our subframe. And then now we can put our muffler on. Now we have our muffler to go on, so we're gonna put our clamp on first. And then just make sure you're the right one. The hanger will be on the inside. We can go into our hanger and line up our pipe at the same time. And just slide them together. And then we'll come back and tighten everything at the end. But right now you can go ahead and do the same thing on the driver's side with the axle pipe and muffler. So we got our 4 clamps in the front here that we're gonna tighten down. So we have everything is going to be a 15mm socket. So we'll start with our 2 factory ones. And you just wanna make sure that the X pipe is level. Do our 2 aftermarket clamps here. All right, so now I'm just lifting up on the back muffler here just to get everything adjusted into the right position. Then we can tighten our clamp here. Back of our X pipe. Do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna come back to our rear hangers. We're gonna get those bolts threaded in, along with our 2 bolts for our cover here. Get them started by hand first. Down position, get those started. And we can grab our impact, extension, and 13mm socket and tighten all 4 of those down. First, get our muffler pushed into position, get everything aligned right, and then tighten down our rear clamp here. Same thing, impact and 15mm socket. You go ahead and do the same thing for the other muffler. And that wraps up our install of our Borla Attack catback exhaust with black chrome tips for our 2024 and newer Mustang GT Fastback without active exhaust. And remember, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.